Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
All right, Steve, go ahead. You're on Rafael.
Rafael Lovato Jr., how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm really looking forward to this fight you've got coming up at Bellator 189, facing a very tough opponent in Chris Honeycutt. So what's your preparation been like to face the Cut?
Oh, man, I've had an incredible camp. I feel like this was maybe the best camp I've ever had. I've kind of stuck with the same routine. I spent some time with my Muay Thai coach, my Muay Thai teacher, Mauricio Amado, in Toronto, Canada, just like I've always done. And I also spent a couple weeks in Curitiba, Brazil, with his brother, Andre Dita, and the Evolution South High team there in Curitiba. I love going down there because it's, completely out of my comfort zone, 100% focused on training, just Rocky style, eat, sleep, and train, and far away from home. Really intense training down there, lots of sparring, lots of tough guys, lots of guys my size and bigger. That is something I've done for every camp. Spent time with each of those guys. I've also did something a little different this camp, and I went to Miami, Florida for a week as well in the very beginning of my camp to work with a very special guy. His name is Cameron Shane. He is a free-form movement specialist. We did a lot of mobility and sort of recovery for my body to kind of kick things off and go into this camp. And it went really, really well. I've had great work here at home in Oklahoma with my wrestling coach, Brian Piccolo, and all my guys at my school, Lovato Jiu-Jitsu and MMA in Oklahoma City. So I'm feeling amazing. My body's, responded very well. Technically, I've never felt more dangerous, and I'm ready to go.
Well, Eat, Sleep, and Train is something you've been doing for a long time because you were winning gold medals in Jiu-Jitsu before a lot of people had even heard of you in Bellator. So how did you ever get into that in the first place, becoming only the third American ever to win a World Jiu-Jitsu Championship? What got you into it at the beginning?
That would be my father. My father is a lifetime martial artist as well. He's had me, moving and training ever since. I don't remember a day where I started. It's just always been there. I grew up inside the JKD system. My father is a former JKD instructor. And so, JKD was sort of the mixed martial arts before mixed martial arts. And so we've always had a system of searching out the best of each range of combat and learning, from those people. And that led us to Jiu-Jitsu. Once we found Jiu-Jitsu, we fell in love with it. We became the first American father and son Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And that's what I devoted my life to. For the most part, that's what I fell in love with, and that's where I could be competitive and chase those, aspirations of being a world champion, and also sort of make my place in the history of the sport as an American. But it was always my plan to do MMA at some point. Maybe I took a little longer than what I thought I would, but I felt like it all happened at the right time. I have no regrets. I didn't leave Jiu-Jitsu early and kind of feel torn between the two. I did everything I ever could have wanted and could have tried to do in Jiu-Jitsu. And once I felt like the motivation wasn't there the way it used to be, I made my way into MMA, and that made me feel young and extremely motivated all over again. And, just taking it one step at a time, and now here we are.
Well, obviously, it's been very successful for you, so the motivation has definitely been there because you're running up an undefeated streak right now at 6-0. Does that weigh in your mind at all as you go into face Chris Honeycutt, the fact that you're still undefeated, or are you just looking at the man in front of you?
Well, I always just look at the man in front of me. Each fight is its own challenge, its own accumulation of my life's work. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking past him. I'm not putting any unnecessary pressure on myself. You know, he is a big challenge. He's been on my mind for the last 2 months, and I've been extremely motivated. And like I said, I could not be more prepared. There's nothing more I could have done. So I'm very confident and excited to get out there and show my work.
Well, speaking of showing your work, you definitely did that at Bellator 174, but it only took you 13 seconds, and those of us who had heard of your jiu-jitsu reputation were kind of surprised when you just blew through Charles Hackman and finished him with knees and punches. So was that even what you were expecting?
You know, no. You never expect anything, you know, a victory to come so fast. You know, you prepare for, you know, for war, for the full 15 minutes and prepare for the worst. And that's what I've done for every fight. And I'm fortunate to get, you know, 4 first-round finishes in my six fights. But I think that's just a reflection of my work, of my training, and of my style. I believe I am a dangerous fighter, not just because of my jiu-jitsu, but because of my, you know, my complete abilities. And, you know, once again, I'm prepared to show all of those this Friday night. You know, I had a victory this year with striking. In the middle of the year, I had another victory with my jiu-jitsu. And this time, you know, let's see what happens. I'm ready to show it all.
Well, when somebody is doing so well in both areas, getting both knockouts and submissions, I always like to know which one is more satisfying. See, I'd suspect as a jiu-jitsu ace that it's probably really satisfying to you to get that choke or that submission, but those knockouts got to be fun too.
Yeah, there's definitely no way you can say one's more satisfying than the other. A victory's a victory. You know, it doesn't matter how it comes. If you're tasting that sweet taste of victory, then you know you are happy. And so I don't care. You know, I'll take it any way it can come. You know, I'm happy to just show all my abilities. I don't feel like, oh, I have to win this way or I want to win this way more than any other. You know, however the victory comes, that's my work. That's, you know, what I train to do, and I'll take it.
Honeycutt comes in as a very decorated wrestler during his time at Edinburgh University. So what are your thoughts on that as the style of fight that it will make coming up on Friday?
Well, I think it makes it very interesting. You know, I'm really happy to have this opportunity to face such a great wrestler in my MMA career. I have not, you know, faced a wrestler yet, and he's, you know, about as decorated as they come. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. You know, it's going to push me in new ways because I can't expect to go out there and get an easy takedown. And you know, who knows what his game plan is. Maybe he's going to try to keep it on the feet. Maybe he still wants to wrestle and put me on my back and grind me out. You know, that's what I think is going to make it interesting. It's going to bring out the best in me. You know, so I'm excited for the challenge, and I still believe there will be some grappling exchanges. You know, it's what he's been doing since he was a kid, and it's what I've been doing for the last 20 years, plus years. And so let's put his wrestling skills against my jiu-jitsu skills and see what happens. You know, I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just very excited.
Do you think there's a possibility that if he gets over anxious to go in there and try to get the takedown, that you could just pull guard and get another really quick submission?
I mean, if he gets over anxious and exposes himself for a takedown, yes, for sure. I mean, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for so long. You know, I am made to capitalize on openings. You know, once we're, you know, in the clinching range, he definitely needs to be careful. But, you know, like I said, I don't expect it to be easy. If it's there, it's there. And I'll be happy to, you know, to jump on the neck or something like that. But, you know, I'm not expecting it to be easy whatsoever. And Chris, I'm sure, has had a great camp himself and has his strategy and knows what he wants to do. So, you know, let's see what happens.
And we talked about it's wrestling, but you do have to respect his stand-up game as well, with 5 knockouts and 10 wins. So you know the heavy hands are there.
Yeah, 100%. He's a stocky guy, and you know he has fought way more rounds than I have. He has more experience. So you know, I respect him as a fighter. I respect his skills, and I don't assume anything to be easy. But on the other hand, I'm also very confident in my abilities, and I don't think he's fought anybody close to what I have to offer, not just jiu-jitsu wise, but you know, he's still kind of new in the middleweight division. He's never fought anyone as tall as me, and you know, I think I'm going to be a tough matchup for him on Friday night.
I'm glad you mentioned the height, though, because I was going to say between you being 6'1", I believe, and him being 5'10", it seems like you might have both the height and the reach on him.
Yeah, I'm 6'3", so I have 5 inches of height and quite a bit of reach as well. You know, so I'd be crazy not to try to utilize that. And, you know, I definitely plan on it.
All right, well, 6'3", I stand corrected, but as for the fight itself, it's a great chance to showcase what you're doing to the fans watching Bellator this Friday night. And you mentioned that world title aspirations are there for you as well. You've already won all the medals you could in Jiu-Jitsu, so how soon do you think you could get into the middleweight world title picture here in Bellator?
Well, I think, you know, Chris has already proven himself to be one of the top guys in the division, so I believe that a victory over him, especially with a finish, puts me in that picture, without a doubt. And so, you know, going into 2018 as one of the top 4 or 5 in the division, you know, maybe one more fight or in the half of the year. You know, I believe I'm right there in the second half of the year. I'm hoping for a title shot. You know, we'll see how things play out. There's a lot of other guys that have been putting some good streaks together too, and you know, let's see what happens. But I think one more, a good victory over Chris, and one more victory early 2018. You know, I've earned it.
Well, one fight, if I could play matchmaker, that I'd really like to see is you versus John Salter, because you're both on win streaks, you're both great at submissions, and you're both gunning for that world title shot. So I feel like that's a natural matchup.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. He's definitely the best jiu-jitsu guy in the division besides for myself. And so it could be a very interesting fight. He's been doing really well, and maybe we could do that early 2018 to see who gets the fight for that title in the second half of the year.
Sounds like a good plan to me. But before I let you go, I want to say thank you for the time today, Mr. Lovato. And if you'd like to plug any sponsors, thank anybody, or throw out any social media links, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yes, well, thank you for the time again. And for my sponsors, I'd definitely like to mention Ward Tribe Gear, On It, White Equipment Rental, and Brookover Enterprises for their support on this fight. Also, my team, you know, I kind of mentioned it earlier when you were asking about my camp, but Better Jiu-Jitsu, Evolute South High, my strength conditioning coach, Luke Tyree, and everyone at my school, Lovato School of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Mixed Martial Arts in Oklahoma City. And for the social media, I'm pretty easy to find. My Instagram is at Lovato Jr. BJJ, LOVATO JR BJJ, and Facebook.com/Lovato Jr. BJJ. So I appreciate all the support out there from fans, everyone in the Jiu-Jitsu world that's behind me as I fight in this cage. And of course, all my new and amazing that I have now. Thank you guys for the support too. And you know, I'm ready to have another great one.